Today I am one excited little puppy, as today my childhood comes full circle. Back in 1982 my mum bought me my first computer, a Sinclair ZX Spectrum, and I played on it and programmed it for hours. And I can honestly say that in the same way that a butterfly's wings can change the course of a hurricane, getting this computer changed the course of my life. Fast forward to today, I'm a software developer and I can 100% say that it was the ZX Spectrum that got me here. So this video is partly a dad tech review of the Sinclair ZX Spectrum Bluetooth keyboard and partly a trip down memory lane. Here it is, the Sinclair ZX Spectrum Bluetooth keyboard. Look at that. Look at that. Wow, what memories are encased in this little toy. Dead flesh keyboard, obviously. It looks almost exactly the same as the original. There's no expansion port on the back, obviously, but otherwise pretty much exactly the same. It's time to play. Firstly, it is worth clarifying that your recreated ZX Spectrum is not a computer. It's more like a Bluetooth keyboard that you can connect to a smart device, be it an iPhone, an iPad, Android phone or tablet, Windows device, or selected smart TVs. All of the processing, whether it's one of the multitude of Spectrum games or Spectrum Basic, is done on the app that is installed on the device or on the web app for the Windows devices. You can connect your ZX Spectrum to your device either by micro USB cable or Bluetooth, and you should get a USB cable in the box. You need two AA batteries unless you're using the USB cable, and if you plan to use the cable and the batteries, then you should use rechargeable batteries, as plugging in the cable also charges the batteries. The ZX Spectrum takes a little bit of setting up before you get started. There's an official setup guide which I've linked to in the description, but I'm going to peel away the padding and bring you the basics. Firstly, connect your ZX Spectrum to your device. Next you have to install the app, so search for Recreated ZX Spectrum in either the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store. Download and install it. If you're using a Windows device, then visit recreatedzxspectrum.com and find the Tap Here to Launch Online Web App link. Next you need to unlock the keyboard. At this point you'll be tempted, like me, to start using the keyboard, and you will, like me, have a sinking feeling when you see that rubbish is being typed. This is because the keyboard curiously needs to be unlocked before first use. On your device app or the web app, you'll see the unlock icon. Click it to unlock your keyboard and follow the instructions. It basically involves pressing the Cap Shift key, which as far as I can see sends a unique code to the app. It then asks you to type in a code in return and your keyboard is unlocked. You may notice that you can move the layer switch on the back of the ZX Spectrum now to B and you'll have a full QWERTY keyboard. Switching it back to layer A will give you gaming controls. The Windows web app gives you access to 49 games and two basic programming modes, 48K and 128K. The Android app gives you 52 games, many of which you have to purchase, so I'd suggest you use it on the web app to save some money. Let's start with the cons. As Bluetooth keyboards go, it isn't brilliant. There is a reason that dead flesh style keyboards didn't catch on. When typing quickly you'll soon see that letters are missed. Using extended keys is cumbersome. To use the Windows menu key you need to press the Cap Shift, Symbol Shift and A keys. But Windows combinations, for instance Windows plus E to open the File Explorer, just don't work. There are other ZX Spectrum emulators out there for Android, Windows and Apple that are either free or far cheaper than the £80 cost of the ZX Spectrum. In fact, you can get an original ZX Spectrum plus tape recorder and loads of games for less than the cost of this ZX Spectrum. There seems to be an issue on the web app with sound, especially the background music, which is a bit disjointed. There's no problem with the Apple or Android versions that I can see. There's a lack of games. Football Manager, Ant Attack, Attic Attack, Jetpack, School Days, Monty Mole, Highway Encounter, The Way of the Exploding Fist, Defender and my favourite Terra Cresta aren't present on the web app. Hopefully they will be added to the library in the coming months. The lack of spacebar takes a lot of getting used to. The space key is in the bottom right, and if, like me, you use your thumb to hit the spacebar, then it takes a lot of adjustment, and there's obviously no number pad. Now the pros. If you've played with the Sinclair ZX Spectrum 4, then the nostalgia is palpable. I jumped straight in with a few games of Manic Miner. It was as if the intervening 34 years had been stripped away. 8-bit is the new 4K. If you have a ZX Spectrum or one of the many emulators, then you'll appreciate suddenly having more games at your disposal. The games load instantaneously. There's even a recreation of the tape loading screech that my ears learned to tune out in the 80s. You have a Bluetooth keyboard. I found that it worked very well as a keyboard on my LG Smart TV. Spectrum Basic. I'd forgotten how absorbing Spectrum Basic could be. No object orientation, no classes or workspaces, just good old-fashioned linear programming. It won't be for everyone, especially as you can't save the programs, but I enjoyed going back to my roots. It was great to get my hands on the recreated ZX Spectrum. It brought back a lot of memories, and as a distraction it was pretty perfect, but ultimately that's all it was, a distraction. Overall, I'm a little bit disappointed in a recreated ZX Spectrum, and any feelings of nostalgia soon disappear when you realise that as a Bluetooth keyboard it falls way short of pretty much everything else on the market. And as a games machine, anyone under the age of 30 will wonder what all the fuss is about. If it's an authentic Speccy experience that you need, then you may be better off buying a second-hand one. But still, thanks for the memories.